This is Megan Lazowski. Today is May 2nd, 2014. I am interviewing Dorothy Zoellner, a longtime parishioner at Immaculate Heart of Mary in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thank you for speaking with me today.
You're welcome.
Okay. Please restate your name and tell them when you joined Immaculate Heart of Mary.
My name is Dorothy Zoellner, and my husband and I were parishioners. It came in October of 1950.
Good for you. Alright. Describe your family at the time, names of spouses, as well as names and ages of your children.
You'll have to repeat that.
Alright.
Don't talk too fast.
Describe your family at the time, names of spouse, as well as names and ages of children.
I was a brand new bride in October of 1950, so I had no children at that time. But soon to follow. I won't go in unless you want me to.
You can if you want.
That was what I had at that time.
Alright. And then, number 3, who was the pastor when you joined?
Father Kilgore.
Alright. Please discuss your relationship with him and give your impressions of his role in our parish.
Well, he was a wonderful administrator, and he loved his flock. He loved his parishioners and did whatever he could to make them comfortable and to participate. We were great participators for him.
Okay. You sort of just answered this, but what do you remember most about him?
About Father Kilgore?
Mm-hmm.
He was very personable. And that was very important because we were just young, newly married people and had never been in a parish on our own. So when he made us very welcome and immediately put us to work. And so we were good participators.
Good. Right. What are the priests you have memories of? Please give their names and what you remember most about them.
Well, the gentleman priest that Tom and I knew was Father Donald Joyce, and I'm trying to think what year he came, and I have a record here, so I have to look it up.
It's okay.
Go on to the next question, and then I'll keep looking.
Okay. What do you remember most about that?
About him, he became almost one of the members of our family, and he visited us often and participated and administered First Communion to, I think, Ellen. And so he was dear. He was dear to us, and we kept our friendship up for 50 years.
Did your children go to IHM school? If so, tell them about the atmosphere of the school, any principals and or teachers who made impressions on your children.
All of my children, Tom and I had 7 children, and all of our children came to Immaculate Heart of Mary. And I dare say, if I have any memory back, everyone that came to teach were very dedicated and very qualified for their teaching. And at that time, for the most part, most of the children that we had here had Dominican sisters that taught at that time. There were a few lay teachers, but not terribly many. As time went on, of course, we had more.
Mm-hmm. What activities and groups did you get involved with at IHM?
Now, let's see. Our guild, our ladies' guild at IHM was wonderful for just about all of the mothers of the parish were very young because this was a new parish and a new area, so that so it was not only that we could work for the Lord and work for our church, but it was a great social contact for all the mothers. And all the meetings at that time were in the evening because we all had little children and were not free to leave during the day. So I participated in all of the things and was very often chairman of different activities that we had at that time. And I decorated the church for about 10 years. I was in charge of decorations for all of the different feasts and festivals of our church.
Did you decorate Christmas and Easter, like
Yes,
the church
yes,
thing?
for all the holiday seasons.
Do you have any early memories of the group that you were part of?
Of the group that I worked with,
Do you have any like memories of them? Do you remember any special things that you did with them?
most all of them were new friends, I could say, because it was such a new parish. And oh yeah, so Mrs. English and Mrs. Beck and Mrs. Morrison and many others. Those are the primary remembrances I have of that.
The people you met through the group that you just listed, how did they or the group help you like grow?
What did they help me with?
Yeah, like how
Well,
did
if
they
I
help
was
you grow?
if I
through
was
IHM?
on a committee, for instance, I'll just say a card party or something, we had to we had to publicize our activities, so we had to make sure the bulletin was notified so that we could have it there. We had to have somebody in charge of refreshments. We had to have somebody in charge of prizes if we needed prizes for the winners, and we always needed somebody to help clean up. And so that we did.
All right. Tell about specific memories you have about new things at IHM, such as new buildings or programs, or like new ways that the parish has done.
Well, let's see, I wrote down a few things here. After we built a new church, which 50 years old, I think. When we built the new church, the congregation was much larger, and as time moved on, a good many mothers from church now were in a working force, and so they weren't free to meet during the day to have their meetings or to get organized. So most all the meetings, we didn't have monthly meetings. Originally, there were monthly meetings for people who were on committees or on the administration part of the guild, and so that is so. As far as that part of participation, we no longer had quite that contact with the ladies. Another thing that we had while I was here, we had the rule was changed for the women, and we no longer had to wear a hat to church. Before that, we always had to have a cover on our hat, whether it was a hat or a veil or something that we had to have in respect for the Lord. So that's what we had. Another thing we had, they started auction for school to raise money for whatever needs came about. Eventually, when the computers became a big part of the school program, why we did a lot of the money that we raised with our activities. Actually, they were social activities, but with it, we always had an admission price, so that was how we raised money. And one of our big projects at that time was raising money for computers. Time as we got a new church, our Holy Name Society for the men was not quite as active, because originally, as with the guild, we had monthly meetings, so they were nice gatherings for the men. But again, church got too big, and I guess those that originally were in the organizations were letting others take over, and that was something that just came.
What's different at IHM now that you miss about former times?
Actually, nothing, because I love change, and change means improvement usually, and changes come with the needs of the time and the needs of our church. So I enjoyed that, and change always makes for new success.
Have the priest and or parishioners helped you through tough times?
Well, God has been good to our family, so we haven't had that many. But if we did have to have any support, this parish was wonderful for support, and if you needed food, You know, if the family needed to be taken care of that way, they certainly did. But mostly, there was never a shortage of prayers.
That's good. Discuss how your life has been enriched by being a member of IHM.
Well, I have always been very loyal to church and all the activities that were here. And I like to say that every time I took on a new commitment, it allowed me to grow with participation. Participation is a wonderful gift. So,
Is there anything else you'd like to say about IHM Parish? Any memories or anything at all?
well, let me just say that, as I think I said before, change is good, is always good, because with change comes new ideas, new participation, new people, because we don't always have to do what was done yesterday. So we were always loyal to those that we dealt with in the past and all of the rules that came with the Catholic Church in the past. But when change came, we were always welcomed it and always thought it was an improvement and ready for the future.
Thank you for speaking with me today on behalf of the parish. Thank you for all you've done to Immaculate Heart of Mary, such a wonderful parish.
Thank you. You've made me realize how precious it is in my life. So thank you very much, Meg Lizuski.